you need to work and learn over the period of time. PR, accounting, hiring, firing, so many other things.
फायरिंग भी होना चाहिए.
Firing में होना चाहिए. To be honest, I never wanted to become a chef.
Okay.
I have traveled to 4 different continents, gained a lot of exposure, worked with like around 40 nationalities.
Approx funds which is required to open a decent, say about a 30-40 seater restaurant at this present time.
Nothing less than 50 to 60 lakh just for your capex. So the first 7 to 8 months, like I literally, not literally, but I cried in my washroom because I could not face my parents because they asked me not to return back to India. You have got such a wonderful job, why are you leaving it?
Namaskaram. My name is Kamlak Shetty and I am not a restaurant owner. But he is Mr. Anise Khan, chef, restaurateur, entrepreneur and the man behind Star Anise Patisserie and Bombai. Here we are with Chef Anise. Should I call you an entrepreneur or Chef Anise? So what is the shift which made you into Chef Anise?
To be honest, I never wanted to become a chef.
Okay.
But then they say that, you're destined to be something in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how I've become. So I've become a chef first and then an entrepreneur.
Okay.
So, but then to become a successful entrepreneur in F&B field, you need to be a good chef.
Okay.
Because the number one requirement is to dish out quality, trending, and amazing food.
Mm-hmm.
For the rest of the qualities of an entrepreneur, you need to work and learn over the period of time, like marketing, sales, HR, branding, PR, accounting, hiring, firing, so many other things.
Firing bhi hona chahiye.
Firing bhi hona chahiye. Yeah, absolutely. So it is not an easy job, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
That's wonderful. I mean, so since you've been in what's the journey been like, and where did you start?
I first came to Mumbai in the year 1997. I got my first job with the Leela Kempinski.
Okay. That was what year you said?
1997.
Okay. Where did you come from?
You
belong to?
I am from a small town from Odisha called Behrampur,
Okay.
which is on the border of Andhra Pradesh and
Okay.
Odisha.
Okay.
And then I did my hotel management from Institute of Hotel Management, Chennai.
Okay.
And when Leela Kempinski was my first job. Okay, that was in 1997. So that is how I started my short and crisp journey.
Mm-hmm.
And over a period of time, I have traveled to 4 different continents, gained a lot of exposure, worked with like around 40 nationalities,
Okay.
learned their culture, their food, and that has helped me a lot to become what I am today.
So how do you kind of, distinguish, I mean, ye wala taste aisa hai, isme what goes into making these ingredients, because every place would have their specialty ingredient, which might not be available in a place like India or somewhere. So is it possible to bring all those things together if you have to, like, and I'm just talking in a common man's perspective, how does it work? Is it possible?
See, it is a possibility because when you work, say, in a place like Americas, they have their own cuisine.
Okay.
When you go to the Middle East, you work a lot with Middle Eastern spices. Their food is not at all spicy. It's very healthy. They only use olive oil. And then all the dishes are mildly flavored. When you come back to India, India itself is such a large and vast country.
Okay.
Every region has got different flavors and spices and cuisines. And, every 10 kilometers you cross, you cover, that changes again. And we are in a space wherein, everything is available at the moment in India. You name it, you get it. Of course, you need to pay a price for it.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to open up a Japanese restaurant, you have like beautiful ingredients available. You want to open up an Estonian restaurant, you get ingredients. Everything is possible nowadays.
So you've been there, done it, and what's your favorite story to tell on this?
There are a lot of different stories. First of all, I was just telling you that I did not want to become a chef.
Okay.
Because this was when I was in like 7th and 8th standard
Mm-hmm.
of my school life. So my Bade Bapa was an astrologer,
Okay.
not a professional, but an amateur one.
Okay.
So I never believed in astrology, neither do I now. You know, due respect to all the astrologers and people who believe them.
Mm.
So he saw my palm and he said, "Ki bhai, I see that you are wearing a white coat and you're working with white elements."
This is very.
This was probably in the year 89, 90, I think.
Uh-huh.
So back then it was only engineering and medical, or I think to some extent MBA as a profession,
Right.
or NIT. So I was like flying high that I'm becoming a doctor.
Okay. You wanted to be.
Yeah, I wanted to become a doctor.
Okay.
And then when he said, "Ki bhai, I see that you are wearing a white coat," I could only contemplate, "Ki bhai, I'm becoming a doctor."
Okay.
So I already became a doctor.
He didn't tell you about the chef hat.
No, I did not. So that's how but then unfortunately things did not work out. I could not get through MBBS seat, and my father got me a cutout from the newspaper, like, "This is hotel management." I said, "What is this?"
Okay.
Unheard of. No one heard about it. We knew that there existed 5-star hotels, but then beyond that, we had no idea, because there was no culture of going to restaurants or 5-star hotels back then.
Okay.
I remember in my entire childhood, I only went once or twice to restaurant, that too with my friends. The culture was not there, everything garbe. So I gave a written examination. It was a all India exam, cleared my viva, and I got a seat in IHM Chennai. And that is how I started my career.
So, Bade Papa's prophecy came true.
I would say it came true, and yeah, he's no more. But then I pray that his soul rest in peace. That's how it is.
So, what gave birth to the idea of Star Anise?
So before Star Anise came to the picture, I was never interested into the profession of baking. I was always into continental cooking and kitchen in all my 3 years of hotel management in Chennai. But then I came here in 97 and joined Leela Kempinski, Mumbai. I was asked to work in bakery.
Okay.
Because it was a 3 years program of kitchen executive trainee management program. So I thought that, the first year I'll be working in the bakery, and then, I'll be shifted to, continental kitchen. But then there's a lot of politics which happens in hotels, and, I do not want to get into that. So somehow 1 year I survived, without any interest. But then in the second year, we got a expat Swiss pastry chef by the name of Beat Lofel. Till date, he's my guru, my guide, mentor, the most humble person, amazingly skilled pastry chef. He changed my perspective, and that is how I became interested to work in the patisserie department. And I never thought that I want to go back to a kitchen anymore. Then I worked for like 15 years in hotels. I worked in Americas and Asia and Middle East and Europe. Before finally I thought, it's enough is enough, because my family was also, moving around along with me. My son was almost 4 years old, and he used to go to school from one country to another country.
Okay.
In the Middle East. So we were in Oman, and he used to get into UAE and come back again, crossing the border. So it wasn't a very pleasing, experience for us. So I thought, let me come back and do something of my own in Mumbai. And that is how 2010 I came back, and Star Anise was born.
So, you kind of got all the ideas from around the world, you put it together, and your mentor, his thought helped you to start Star Anise.
Absolutely. I think you learn as you go through a journey. And all these different cultures and different food and different people taught me so much. so that I still use them in all my creations. Like I have a lot of African and Middle Eastern influence in my food, as well as Italian as well. And then now the base is strong, and so when your foundation is strong, you work on it. You can develop any cuisine if you want to, because the basics of cooking is very much simple. You do the basics right, and then you work on them, and you get results.
And how do you learn the basics? It's like the old Dadima way of cooking. Is that what you call basics, or what do you call basics then?
Cooking in hotels is very different than Dadima's cooking, even though I'm fond of Dadima's cooking and my mom's cooking and my wife's cooking. But here we are creating something special, because people go to fine dining restaurants and QSRs and hotels because they want to experience something special, not that what they want to have same from the house. So it's a different atmosphere. Sometimes it is of high pressure. Sometimes you enjoy working, and you love creating something which is nice and which is trending.
So from Star Anise to Bombay, which is a new venture, and it's wonderful. I've been lucky enough to be there. Have the So you need to tell more about Bombay. What is it about?
So 14 years of Star Anise, I thought that let me also dabble with hot food.
Okay.
So everyone is coming up with several concepts, right from Japanese to Oriental to Middle Eastern to Korean to I came into Bombay in the year 97, and this city, it is growing on me, and I am growing along with the city. So this is a potpourri of cultures, of food. A lot of cultures come into here. Mumbai does not have a cuisine of its own. Whoever came in, it absorbed them. It gave them shelter, it gave them food, and people prospered. Right from the Parsis to the Bori Muslims to Punjabis to the South Indian people, a lot of other communities as well. So I, along with my co-founder, I'm a co-founder of Bombay. Chef Ritesh is also a co-founder. He's also a chef. So we decided, let us pay a tribute to Mumbai and create something which is very indigenous to the city. So that is how Bombay came into the picture. And the menu, as you must have seen, it is a mix of a lot of communities. It is an experience. We wanted to give back what earlier people used to experience. The same kind of food, the same kind of ambience. So once you walk into Bombay, you feel like you are into 1990s or 80s of Mumbai.
I did experience.
Yeah.
You've been playing the retro music, the retro videos, the black and white, so that created the influence. So how did you curate this menu? I mean, how did you do that, like finding places, and what was the entire process?
So before, going for the location, we did R&D for like 5 to 6 months.
Okay.
Each and every dish on Bombay menu is very carefully thought of. There is a history behind each and every dish. And there has been a lot of attention to detail over small things, right from the music to the decor to, the old gramophone and the typewriter, what you see inside, to the walls. You see those black and white old pictures of what, Bombay was before, to the, the farewell, gift what we give to our guest, which is in the form of, swad or pan pasand ki goli.
Right. That's very difficult to get. And how do you manage to get that?
That's a secret. Because it's, I think, so it is not there in any of the markets. So we have sourced from the source. Okay. So it is so, I feel so happy when, the new generation kids, they come and they get amazed by what we are doing. And then they hear the music and they said, "Ye kaun se zamane ka music hai?
Ye kaun sa color bhi hai?"
And they love it. And then the pan pasand and the rangoli and the swad, like they are like, "Ye kahan milta hai?" So, people talk about it. These are the experiences people love. They go and talk to their friends and their families. And we wanted to create such a kind of atmosphere that you come, you enjoy, you relax. It's a cozy, nice place.
So from Star Anise to Bombay, What next?
We want to take Bombay to pan India.
Okay.
That is why Bombay was made.
Okay.
Also, we wanted to go to B town cities and let them also know what Bombay is all about. We want the menu and the food to be seen and heard throughout India.
But generally, when you go to any two-tier city, is something like Bombay ka chaat, Bombay ka this and that is always there.
Right.
But I don't know how authentically, because does Mumbai actually has a taste other than the cultural ones which is existing, like an agri food or something? That's a question, because Mumbai is a mix of all the cultures we get, right from people from the north to the south to the Parsis. It's an amalgamation of all these cultures. So how do you kind of make it different?
So even for example, the chole kulche or the amritsari kulcha, what you have at our place is very, very authentic.
Okay.
We try to source the right kind of ingredients, and we try to make our own spices. You correctly said that, a lot of cultures came into Mumbai, and, Mumbai embraced them. So we want to take this brand to B-town cities, even though, as you said, there are places who serve pav bhajis and, vada pavs and, things like that. But Bombay is, our concept is, it is beyond vada pav. So whatever menu we have carefully curated is very, very special, and there's a lot of passion involved whenever something is made.
Feel that.
Yeah. So we want to have the same kind of passion wherever we go. So after Mumbai, I plan a very high-end patisserie, which I haven't yet. So
it's on the cards.
It's on the card. People love to indulge in very good quality patisserie,
right?
And I want to give that experience and joy to select people who really want to enjoy.
So you want to do that in Mumbai, or you go to
Mumbai is the place because it has got the kind of footfall what you need for a place to succeed. Having said that, the real estate is a very big problem here in Mumbai. But if you play your cards well, if you plan, if you have a good business proposal, I think things will work out.
So something in your life that you felt was wrong at that particular time, but in the hindsight, you're happy you made it. You felt something was wrong, but right now you feel, oh, that was right. And right now,
when I came to India, I wanted to open up a gelateria.
Okay.
I wanted to have a gelato shop.
Okay.
So I went to Italy, specifically to Bologna, to train for gelato.
So when you say gelato ice cream,
yeah, gelato ice cream. Gelato is basically made with milk.
Okay.
Ice cream is made with cream.
Right.
So gelato is very light. So I did a brainstorming. I did some, running around, spoke with people.
You trained yourself.
I trained, but then when I came back, before jumping into the sea, I wanted to find whether people will really like it. But people, I thought that, people are not so, welcoming to the idea, because we like our food to be creamy and rich, and, milk-based ice cream is very light, and, so I dropped that idea.
Gotcha.
So I think
you never experimented with it. You didn't give people trials.
Yes, we did. We invested into machinery, which is expensive.
Okay.
But somehow we got mixed response. This was in South Mumbai. But then I started a B2B company.
Okay.
A B2B supplies, which I never thought I'll do. So I thought it was a mistake then, but then that is what is actually taking me forward. So B2B business of Star Anise patisserie is almost 80%.
So being a chef, what goes into making a restaurant? So for people, budding people, there are a lot of people who want to be in the business. How to start this business? Something to help budding aspirants. Would you give some tips on that?
So number one is you need to develop a concept, a great business concept. Number two is you need to have good funds, because
money is
needed. Somehow or the other, you need a financial backing. You need a lot of funds. Just not to open up a restaurant, but to also have a working capital for at least 1 year.
Okay.
Because you never know whether, how successful the restaurant will be.
Okay.
You need to have a concept which is foolproof. I mean, to say, like what we did for Mumbai, a lot of R&D, a lot of thought process, why, how, where. And then we came up with the menu. and the concept. So this has to be like done over a period of, some time. As I said, a good business financial proposal needs to be made with projected sales. It may not be like 100% correct, but then you have to work towards it.
Right.
Like if you need to have a sale of say 10 to 15 lakhs a month, you need to work towards it. How do you want to get it? Weekends, weekdays, how many covers in the breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. These all matter a lot, even though it could not be like to the pin, to the T, but still then, you can push yourself to it. So that is very, very important. And then the most important thing for me, three important things is location, location, location.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just the locality which matters.
Absolutely. I mean to say, you might be getting a real estate shop for like a less amount of money, but then you won't get that kind of footfall if it's somewhere inside. If you're on the high street, you pay more, but then you get to be seen. People see you. That is very important.
Place like Mumbai, what is the kind of approx funds which is required to open a decent, say about of 30-40 seater restaurant at this present time?
So you need nothing less than 50 to 60 lakh just for your capex.
Just elaborate for
capex is a capital expenditure, which is basically your interiors, your deposits, your brokerage, your seating, your chairs, your equipments, your menu planning, your PR expenses, your 2-3 months of salaries when you are developing the kitchen and the concept, and plus again working capital. That is very, very important. Patience is the key here. People usually give up in 3 months or 6 months. But then if you really want to become an entrepreneur or open up a restaurant, I would say you should give 365 days to a business.
You need to be there. You
need to be
on it. So you have a kitchen in Kurla, that's what I know. So what happens? The preps happen there?
My central kitchen is at Kurla. It is a 3,500 square state-of-the-art facility.
Wow.
It's a 24 hours operations. We have never even closed even for a day.
So it's around the clock.
It's around the clock.
So it's basically for the bakery unit or also for Bombay?
A few things for Mumbai as well, but majorly for our B2B supplies. We have a bakery, we have a patisserie, we have a kitchen, we have a store, we have a purchase department, we have an operation team, we have a logistics team. Everybody work in sync.
What is the number?
We have at the moment around 80 to 85 staff.
80 to 85 staff.
This is without Mumbai counting in.
So isn't this the biggest concern for somebody who wants to start? The right kind of skilled workers or manpower which is needed to have a business going.
So when I started in the year 2010, we were just 3 of us.
Okay.
Me, the executive chef and the purchase guy.
That's just 14 years back.
This is 14 years back.
Mm-hmm.
So we used to do production.
Okay.
We used to pack and deliver the stuff in my white Swift I had, come back and then clean the entire kitchen. So this went on till 6 to 8 months.
Okay.
So I used to cry in the washroom.
Because you had an entire range of working and suddenly you're here to start your own.
Correct. In a hotel, you are backed by each and every department. As a chef,
this is just your beginning.
Correct. In a kitchen, in a 5-star hotel, you have accounts, you have purchase, you are receiving, you are HR, you are finance, you have your seniors, you have a general manager. You just do your departmental job. But as an entrepreneur, you need to wear like so many hats of marketing, of HR, of accounting, of purchase, or security, everything. And then unfortunately what happens is most of the chefs, they focus only on the food part.
Mm-hmm.
So majority of chefs, unfortunately, who open up businesses, they fail because they fail to understand the business. You need to be a businessman. You need to wear all these hats as well. You need to have that kind of an experience. So the first 7 to 8 months, like I not literally, but I cried in my washroom because I could not face my parents because they asked me not to return back to India. You have got such a wonderful job, why are you leaving it? So it was all me to blame or whatever that, it was me who came in. But I never gave up. Till today, like, you have challenges. COVID was there. It pulled us back 3-5 years behind, what we were. But again, I never gave up. During COVID, we started supplying to big societies.
Okay.
Eh,
So you had meals.
Meals, only in 3 days of COVID. We survived those, first COVID and second COVID.
So you all kind of caught hold of societies and you kind
Big societies, yes. In that period, I was down with COVID. My dad was in ICU for 2-3 times. I lost my cousin brother and his wife. A lot of things happened. I'm sure, this people will correlate this because someone or other, they lost their loved ones. But my advice to every entrepreneur or even an individual is do not give up easily. You need to fight to stay alive.
You mentioned of an incident earlier before we were sitting and talking. You spoke about you had a brush with Mr. Bill Clinton.
Oh, yes.
You met him.
So I was in Leela, Goa. President Bill Clinton was here in Mumbai, and then they came to Goa for like 2 days, 2 nights. So as a executive pastry chef, you make showpieces, amenities, room amenities.
Okay.
So we try to impress our dignitaries.
Okay.
So I was making a boat because it was a coastal city, with a sail, and there was like pralines and chocolates inside. And this was a month of May or June when Goa literally is like an oven. It's so hot. So it's a resort, unlike a 5-star hotel which is like vertical. This is like horizontally spread over, 6 acres of land. I think 12 acres of land, Leela, Goa. I made that centerpiece for him. I went to his villa in a buggy, and
You were staying in the.
he was staying in the presidential suite. So I took that, and the Secret Service agents, they scanned everything, and
Okay.
this happens every time. And I went inside. I kept the showpiece, and it broke apart.
It broke
It broke
with all the effort.
with all the
How
effort.
long did it take to make it?
I think 4-5 days.
What are you saying?
So that was the moment President Bill Clinton walked in, and like I was like, oh my God, what do I do? And he just kept his hand over me. This happens. I had no words. Like, who am I speaking with? The most famous man on the planet, the most powerful man. He's put his hand on me and he's telling me it's okay, don't worry. I'll not tell this to your seniors. That is what he said. I said, sir, I have a plan B. He said, really? Well, yeah. So give me 10 minutes. So I went back. I actually made 2 of them.
So that 4 days of work into the same size.
The same size. That is what we do. So we always have a plan B.
Okay.
So this time I was very, very cautious. I carried myself when I was in the buggy, and then I came and placed in his presidential suite. He was not there, but I'm sure he must have seen it. So that was like
A moment.
the moment. The same thing happened when President Bush came when I was in Tanzania.
So you've been lucky to meet most of the
A
presidents.
lot of them. To say.
So
that is
tell me
what-
about Mr. President Bush.
We had a cocktail evening.
Okay.
Like I was a part of the XCOM. Usually they have it in the hotel. The top management. So Wednesdays are usually quiet days. So we have a cocktail, event where it's also called the general manager's event. So that day it was a President Bush event, and then we were there, and he came, we mingled, and he spoke highly about what India is, and Manmohan Singh, he was the prime minister. He came to know that I'm from India. So it was as if 2 friends are talking.
Okay.
So it happens, when you are working in high profile hotels, you get to meet a lot of people.
But that adds to your experience, and probably the way you carry yourself, the way you do things would be much different, isn't it? You interacted with a different that taste to coming to the basics also again.
Absolutely. To say, when I was in Leela, Goa, Tiger Shroff used to be a baby. He used he used to come in the kitchens, and he used to love white chocolate. So I used to carry him on my arms and take him inside the patisserie.
Okay.
And he used to have chocolates.
Okay.
So these are like memories which you carry throughout your life. You talk about them to your children, to your friends.
Marco Pieri, White or Gordon Ramsay, who?
See, I love both of them. So Chef Gordon Ramsay is a pupil of Chef Pierre.
Okay.
So he learned under him.
Okay.
So Chef Marco Pierre White is a very classical guy.
So did I pronounce it right? Marco Pieri?
Marco Pierre White.
Where White?
Yeah. So he's a very classical country style cooking.
Okay.
Whereas Chef Ramsay is, if you get a chance, watch his series Hell's Kitchen. And
Okay. Yeah, Hell's Kitchen I've seen.
yeah, he's more on a contemporary.
So do you? He's very abusive at work. Also, does those things happen?
It happens in most of the places,
Yeah.
but then it's also about generating PR. Good PR
He
piece.
does it for the camera.
Yes,
Okay.
he is a bit. I wouldn't say abusive, but then he's very expressive.
Okay.
No, he is very straightforward. If this is wrong, this is wrong. I mean, he does not sugarcoat his words. Whereas Chef Marco Pierre White, I got that experience to train under him for a week. So
Oh, you got that.
yes, when I was working for Six Senses Oman, so he was a guest chef in one of our restaurants, top end restaurants. So very, very down to earth guy. You learn so much from him. And Chef Ramsay is the opposite. He's not that cool in terms he does not stay calm, but he's a very contemporary chef. He loves to do modern food. So I respect both of them.
So there are a lot of these cooking shows on air, internationally Indian. So for the reality shows, the format, what would you like to change if you had to do something about it?
See, I want all my friends like Chef Ranveer or others to work something for the kids.
For the kids.
For the kids.
But there's a kids show also.
The viewership is not that great because top of the line chefs don't do it. Someone like Chef Sanjeev Kapoor, if he does exclusively for kids, because nowadays there's too much of garbage that's been happening, in terms of food. Kids are going the QSR way. They only love pizzas and burgers and nachos and cheesy products, which in the long term is
Not good.
not that great. So I think we need to have an episode wherein they show healthy but yet very tasty and good looking food, which the kids will love. I think that is one thing people should take note of.
Do you incorporate all this in your cooking methods? I mean, where you make sure that the health part is also taken care of?
Absolutely. I'm doing a live kitchen program with JPMC employees kids next month. Again, it is on the healthy food, baking and cooking. This is Asia Pacific region. There's a lot of kids will be seeing this live. So whenever there is an occasion or an opportunity arises, I keep on doing that.
So that brings me to a thought that you need to have a cooking show with kids, because is that a thought which
I love talking with kids. I love talking with I do a lot of live shows with a lot of employees of corporate parks.
Okay.
I also do demos. I love talking and showing whatever I've learned all these years. I think knowledge is meant to be shared.
See, we love the way how Bombay celebrates the food from Bombay, but one underrepresented cuisine which you feel has to be would you like to explore?
So my neighbor state has been marketed very well.
You meant to say
Bengal.
Okay.
So
you're talking about yeah. Oh.
So be it the cuisine, be it the culture, it is still underrated and it has not been spoken about the way it should have been. The food is so simple yet so flavorful. The desserts are mouth-watering, and if you go and have the temple food of Lord Jagannath,
right,
in Puri,
I had been lucky enough to
you will be like mesmerized. You will love the food.
So I'll just add to this topic. So when it comes to, usually I've seen the temples or places of worship, the taste of the food is always very different. Why is it so? I mean, I'll just come back to what you were saying, but
because the recipes are not tampered. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, they have been making that kind of food since a long, long time.
Okay, but given the present day ingredients, wouldn't that change?
They still try to source the best of the ingredients.
Okay,
and the recipes are not tampered, as I said. They are following the recipes like what it was before. And again, it is a charm of the god.
So you believe there are certain things which can add to the taste, the flavor, which is probably not known to the energies work?
Yes, I think, see, when you're going to a temple like Lord Jagannath temple, you're very spiritual. You always think about God, you think about good things, there's a lot of positivity. So also the food when you have there, it's a Mahaprasad, So you do not eat as if you're eating in a restaurant. You don't want to be critic there. You want to be positive, thinking that this is God's food and this is the prasad, and let me have it peacefully.
So your emotions also change when you go to a place like
Correct. Totally agree.
Right. I mean, that's a point I would take on, because usually you understand that, because then you don't have anybody to complain. Like, when you go to a restaurant, usually, like, because I think everybody's tastes are different. They say, chahiye, kuch kam tha, ye zyada tha. So coming to asking that question, how is the food at home like for you when you, because you're served the best of guests. So when it comes to cooking at home, do you do that? Or what is the food at home?
I love baking somehow, because I've been a bakery chef. So I've got a state-of-the-art oven in my house.
Okay.
I fought with my wife. We recently took a house last year, and then we installed a state-of-the-art oven, because
So that might be a large one.
Not huge, but then it's a very compact and very nice
But
oven, which gives great results.
She opened it by having such a large baking equipment.
Because she knows that, kitchen is her domain. And I'm taking a part of
Lady likes to be the boss of the kitchen.
Yeah.
You take it over.
And I'm taking a part of her kitchen,
Okay.
which she knows that I will only use it probably once a week.
Okay.
So I do a lot of baking, like roasts and baking, and my kids love it. Especially my younger one, he loves food. He wants to become a chef. Yeah.
He wants to follow Papa's footsteps.
Yeah, he wants to take Star Anise to next level.
But you're almost taking it there. So I think you have plans.
Yeah, we have plans. Definitely, we want to grow. But it has always been a lot of struggle and hard work. Things don't come easy. Why I'm saying is because I know that a lot of people want to become businessmen and entrepreneur in this field. So I'm not discouraging them or demotivating them, but then I'm telling them the facts. Hard work is something which is required. Application is necessary. Passion is necessary. There is no substitute to hard work and patience. You need to give time to a business. Like, our parents gave time to us, when we were kids. We were reckless. We were, we fell down, we got up, our parents taught us, right? So they never gave up on us. So I think business is something on those lines.
It's like, it should be like a baby for you.
Correct.
So you need to nurture it and let it grow. So when we talk about the kitchen, what's the favorite dish you usually cook other than the pastry?
See, I like creme caramel the most.
Okay.
It's a very simple dish. So if you go to a lot of, these Chilia restaurants, I'm from Jogeshwari. So you get that premixed creme caramel, and then, they whip it up.
Right.
And they don't even bake it. It sets in the fridge. It's with agar-agar. So it's a joke,
So that's not the right way?
That's not the right way. The right way is, you cook the milk, the eggs, the sugar. This is a 3-ingredient custard.
Okay. So it has to be baked.
It has to be baked. That is how you get that creamy texture.
What we get is basically they just put it together and put the caramel on top, and
that is not even a caramel. That's something else. That's
okay. What you said is agar-agar.
Yeah.
Okay. What does a day look like for a chef when he's not working? Like a chef entrepreneur like you, non-working day kaisa hota hai?
So there's no off or there's no vacation. You're always on your toes because you are only answerable to yourself, good or bad. It's not that, I'm always working, but then, I keep my thoughts, what's happening. I have my CCTV login details with me. I have my POS details on my dashboard on my mobile phone. So I keep track of things, what's happening, what's not. And every day is something or the other happening. A lot of people ask for a lot of new things. So I have to be on my toes. But having said that, I love spending time with my family and my cat, Chloe. She's
How do you take the time out?
Luckily Sundays, I try to be at home. When I worked, Sundays was never a day off. But now on Sundays,
you're trying to make that time.
Yeah. And then, either I go for a movie with my younger one, or I play cricket, or I take my family for a dinner.
So usually when you see a Ramsay show, Gordon Ramsay show, most of the TV shows like a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, a lot of high, super intensive stuff happening. Is that the reality, or कैसे होता है अंदर kitchen के अंदर?
The peak hours in a restaurant or in a hotel is somewhere between 8 to 10 o'clock. So that is the time where, a lot of people come in and everybody places an order. and you have different sections in a restaurant, like the pantry, like the Indian, Conti, Oriental, Tandoor. So every section needs to be in sync with the restaurant operation. If your table, a table of four has come in, and four of you are ordered like four different cuisines, that means that all the four dishes should come at the same time. So that is why we shout, we panic sometimes. We make sure that bhai jaldi nikal, jaldi nikal, jaldi nikal. And heat of the moment, you want that everybody should be on their toes. No one should relax in those 2-3 hours, because for us, the first guest and the last guest leaving is what we want. Happy guest.
Okay, how do you take criticism on this thing?
Very positive. Even though taste is very subjective. Just a matter of salt in a chutney, for example. We have this happening. The same table, we have 6 people. One person says, "Yeah, salty hai." Because the other person is like, "This is absolutely fine with me."
It's people's taste buds.
Exactly. I mean to say, you really can't change things for everyone. But you have to be very patient and agree and accept that yes, we can change this, or if something is wrong, a chef has to be very gracefully, he should take it. If there is a genuine mistake, we make out whether it is genuine or not. Because if someone just tastes a spoon and then he says this is not nice, genuinely that person is right. And then we'll have to make sure that that person, when he leaves the restaurant, he's happy and satisfied. We give him something, we give him options. We make sure that he is like tied with us. He comes back many times to us.
So just usually people get angry when the food has not come, because there are like hungry people who come to the restaurant. वो गुस्से को कैसे हैंडल करते हैं? अरे खाना ले लाया, because as you said, between 8 to 10 the period of time, there are a whole rush, and there is a guest who's probably just come 10 minutes and but he wants his food first. So I've seen that rush in the restaurants, and how do you all handle that?
So in 10 minutes, you only get Maggie.
How do you explain it to people? Like,
no, we tell them, it will take at least 20-25 minutes. We are making food with a passion. We do not have food that is prepared.
I've seen this episodes where people really lose their cool, because is their anger is because there's a necessity. Khana bhook lagi mujhe abhi chahiye karke.
If you want to have good food, you have to have some
wait.
Yeah, you have to wait.
Probably isn't that because of the fast food culture, this kind of thing where people, as you said, it's about 30 years back, not many restaurants were there.
Absolutely.
So now when we have got to the culture of eating out, there's the impatience is also there.
I think overall, our race has become very impatient. They want things to happen very quickly. Especially the youngsters, they have no sense of patience. As you rightly pointed out, a lot of us are going to a lot of QSR restaurants wherein, we get burgers in 10 minutes time and 15 minutes maximum time. But unfortunately, that will not happen at Bombay or in my place, because we take time in making your food that is really, really nice and healthy and safe and quality.
So how often do you change your menu, and what does it depend on?
The menu changes season-wise.
Okay.
For example, mango was the season. Before that, there was strawberry.
Okay.
This is rainy season. A lot of greens we do not get, which are of highest of quality. And then sometimes there is a severe shortage of products. For example, now chocolate is a very rare commodity. The prices have increased by 300%.
What is the reason for that? I mean, I heard about it.
So Ivory Coast and Ghana are the most important countries as far as chocolate pods, cocoa pods are concerned.
Okay.
So they have a pest problem there, and so they have eradicated the entire farming, the entire production.
Okay.
But then at the same time, the demand is always there.
So where is it coming from now?
Other countries like Malaysia.
Which higher price?
Higher price. Supply is less and demand is
still the same.
Too huge. So this will be there till the month of November, December, until we get a fresh crop. So
this is going to remain.
This is going to remain for another 4-5 months.
It's a temporary thing, because there are a lot of chocolate lovers, cake, pastry lovers, the prices in. But how do you manage it at your Star Anise place, how do you still manage? Because you can't jump the cost because though the cost of chocolate has gone high.
So I'll be lying if I say that, it has not impacted our business. It has impacted. But at the same time, we have negotiated through this phase so far. We have reduced the size of the pastry items without compromising on the quality of the chocolate. So the price is still the same, but then we have reduced the size of the pastry. So for a lot of us, chocolate is not a luxury; it is not a necessity. So a lot of people understand this. So we are playing with more flavors, like mango was there. So we pushed for a lot of mango desserts. So that worked for us, for over a period of time. We are pushing lychees, since lychee is in season, we are doing that. We're trying to use a lot of fresh fruits, what is available and which are local to us.
So, chef, I can refer to as chef all the time.
Even my friends in my complex, they call me by chef. They do not call me by name. So I'm used to it.
So, if any practical or field realities you can make the future generation of chefs aware about, which will help them to grow.
See, you need to take your profession very, very seriously.
Okay.
You cannot be an Instagram superstar and become a good chef. Instagram is there for me as a motivation.
Okay.
I get impressed by what I see and I try to improve on what I am today. I see products which are genuinely very nice, done by some seriously good chefs, and I would not say that I will copy it, but I will try to improvise on it and make it something different. As I was saying today, I made a candle brownie dessert with caramel and sea salt, oozing out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So all the future budding chefs and entrepreneurs, I would say, be very, very passionate. And when you are a student, do not waste time. You are wasting your parents' money by not putting in that kind of a hard work. When you are doing your apprenticeship or training, make up your mind what you want to be then. Whether you want to become a chef or a F&B personnel or a front office, guy, but give it a lot of hard work. There's always time to enjoy life, but then future is something which, you need to really think about it. Whether if you want to become a general manager or executive chef, you need to have your foundation very, very strong. So the newer generation should have a lot of patience and a passion.
What will make them have that patience and passion? Because is this something, because people, I think, this is my personal view on this, that this is one field people are little wary of taking the next step. Kya karna hai, chef mein kya hai karke. Though it has gone to that level, there are celebrity chefs and people like you, Chef Anise, who's so well known, who has achieved a certain goal. What should be the driving force? Kya chahiye karte hai to hai kar. It will take some time, but I'll reach there.
Things have changed a lot over the years. When I got my seat in hotel management, I was being compared to the local bhatiara in my place.
Okay.
So my own people used to ask me ki Bashu was making the biryanis for, shadi.
Mm-hmm.
Bashu और इसमें क्या फर्क रहेगा? ये पढ़ा लिखा बाशु है, वो अनपढ़ बाशु है.
Mm-hmm.
That is how the thought process was.
Mm-hmm.
But now, all credit should go to Chef Sanjeev Kapoor. He glamorized this profession, and today I know people who worked in hotels and who are doing wonderfully, in a social media scene. They're making reels and they're minting money. So that is one avenue which has come up really, really nice. But for that to happen, you need to learn your basics, right? You just can't bluff anymore, on social media. People catch hold of the tiniest of mistakes. Here, the basics come into the play. You need to have at least 3 to 4 years of good experience in hotel, and then you can venture out as an entrepreneur or as a chef on social media. So, and slowly you become an internet sensation. People are doing it on YouTube. I know chefs who are making millions just, posting their videos, and they're doing really, really nice. So it all depends on you. I would say sky is the limit in this profession. And these days, chefs are in much demand.
That's
We
good
are
to hear.
continuously looking for good stuff, and I'm not getting, because there's a lot of openings around the world, and people are simply flying out from India.
Don't we need those talent back in India? People like you opening restaurants. I think we need good
But
chefs.
unfortunately, what is happening is, the pay scale in India is still not that great compared to what a Dubai hotel gives. That is something which, all the hoteliers should think about. The salary part, the remuneration part. You know, you simply cannot live in the past. I did my training when I just got 200 rupees.
Okay.
My first job I got 5,000 rupees. Now you can't be,
The times have changed. The inflation has been
but
there.
still then, the first 2-3 years are really
Do
tough.
you think we have a scope to kind of get the price high? I mean, forget the employees' salary.
Yes. Things are improving for sure. Things are improving. So there's a lot of avenues which has come up of lately. For hoteliers, real estate is one thing. Number two is corporate.
So everywhere there's a need.
Yeah, there's hospitality, there's cruise line, there's several other avenues which have come up.
I need to ask a couple more. This
Yeah,
put
sure.
in the day because. So, chef, walk us through your personal filters when looking for kitchen or service staff. And has your approach changed in any way over the years? Like when you're looking for staff?
Earlier we used to get a lot of trained staff.
Okay.
So what is happening of lately, post COVID? So during COVID, the most hit industry was airlines and hospitality.
Okay.
So a lot of students who were supposed to join hotel management, this was like a trigger point that, no, COVID में ऐसा हुआ है, hotels were like severely hit. But that's passe, and now hotels have bounced back. But as I said previously, a lot of people are going away to cruise liners and the US or the Middle East. So right now the filter point is, we want somebody to come in with basic knowledge, and then we mold them. Because what they learn and what they come to us are two different things, because our SOPs are different, our product line is completely different. We are doing products which are not done by many of our competitors and other establishment. So we just see that, that the person is stable, the person has got a sound knowledge of what he can do, so that we can build on that kind of an experience.
So you train them to that level. I mean, it's a slow process, isn't it?
It is,
and everybody has their own abilities and capabilities.
so this is a very, I would say, it's a struggling phase every time, because you train them, and by the time they are trained and they start working, and they just leave and they go. So this is happening. This is like a continuous process, and it's initially it was like really hurtful, but then I realized that this will be like a process which has no end. So it is a continuous thing, even for my staff. That they have become trained the trainer several times.
Okay.
And I'm lucky that I have staff who are with me since the last 14 years.
Wow, that
So-
shows the integrity of what you do. That's wonderful, because that's what shows how a businessman should achieve. Holding on to the stuff. That's
you
nice.
need to take care of the core staff, who have been working with you since a long time. Their family is your family. So in times of need, they are always there for you, because there's always something or other happening, and, they give their time, they work for like 14, 15 hours. So it's imperative that, even I just cannot ignore their demands. Their family is my family. If there is a pregnancy, there is a injury, there is something happened, then the company pitches in, because they are a part of the company.
So, chef, this final one again. What are the best takeaways from the experience of dealing with different segments of clients which you had? Right from the high-profile ones to. Is there any particular takeaway you want to?
The kind of industry where we are in, taste matters, quality matters. That is why our positioning has been very different. I could have gone, there are different verticals, even for a bakery segment. there are several brands. Every brand has got a positioning. So, but then I always wanted to maintain myself a notch higher than others because I wanted always to give the best of the products. So there has always been a demand for good quality products. Sometimes it is like, you do not need any fusion thing happening. Just give, for example, if somebody needs a good baked cheesecake, give them a very good baked cheesecake. No need to put passion fruit or, matcha on top of it. There are several times, people say, okay, we don't want to, play around with ingredients. Just give us a very nice chocolate mousse, for example, or give us a very nice caprese sandwich, a simple one with good pesto. Make sure that, you made a pesto with top class ingredient, use pine nuts, use basil, use extra virgin olive oil, the best of the parmesan. So we get such kind of request, both from corporates as well as, individual guest.
The young generation need to look forward to this. And for somebody who's supposed to be a doctor and made food as a place to do things, operate and make it so wonderful, Chef Anise, for us, it has been so wonderful talking to you, Chef.
It's been an honor that I'm here, and I am doing this for the first time in my life. I've done so many interviews and radios and other things, but for me this is like one of
We are lucky to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. You made me so feel so at ease, and helped me to relate and tell a story of what I went through all these years and what has made Star Anise a successful venture because of all these small stories and experience what I have got.
You are going to be an example for a lot of people, and they would come up looking up to you. So this is just the beginning, Chef. We'd like to see you soon again.
Thank you so much. Really
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.